I can understand English, but I cannot speak it. This is a complaint that I have heard from people who are living across the border so many times that I cannot even count. Today, I'm going to explain why exactly you can understand a language so well, but you cannot speak it, or are afraid to speak it, or maybe shy to speak it. Language is handled by a separate area in our brain, and hearing, speaking, and understanding a language are handled by different regions of our brain, and they're not confined to a single region. Wernicke's area in the brain deals with language understanding and comprehension, while Broca's area in the frontal lobe of your brain handles speech production. So you see, these are two different areas handling two different aspects of a language. So as you can see, the comprehension and reproduction of a language is handled by two entirely separate regions of the brain, which might be helpful in explaining why understanding and speaking a language at the same time doesn't go hand in hand. So since these are two different regions, it doesn't mean they're not connected. They're connected by a bundle of axons, or more easily wires, and these wires are called as arcuate fasciculus. So all in all, the art of speaking a language goes with practicing. If you don't practice a language, if you don't practice English, you won't be able to reproduce it. You might get good at understanding in the Wernicke's area of your brain, but the Broca's area that is involved in the reproduction of the language in your frontal lobe won't be able to speak it unless you start practicing. It's called receptive multilingualism. Children who hear their parents or grandparents speaking a language at home might be able to understand it and even speak it. A time comes when they grow up and they make friends outside of home, or they go to school or watch TV shows that are not in the language that was taught back home, let's say English or Spanish or any other language. They stop speaking the language that was taught back home, or even sometimes understanding the language that was taught back home. The main reason for that is because recording things or understanding them is far easier for our brains rather than creating our own. So the art of practicing or speaking a language goes by start speaking in front of a camera or a mirror, like I'm doing right now. I'm literally just sitting in my room, chilling. Well, not exactly chilling, my baby is asleep outside, but yes, I'm just speaking to the camera in a language that is not native to me. So you do the same. Just go ahead, bring out your phone, or stand in front of the mirror maybe, and just start speaking to yourself. This will not only bring confidence, but also improve your speaking skills. And if you have moved already to a country where English or the language that you're trying to speak is native, try getting a job, because this is my personal opinion. I mean, it's not advice, but it's a personal opinion. I've seen people who start working over here are more familiar and get to interact with more and more people, so they get easily familiar to the language and they start speaking it. Number 3, I've said this before, I'll say it again, and I'll keep saying it again and again and again. Nobody cares about your accent. The biggest mistake I've seen people making in understanding or trying to get familiar with the new languages is that they try to fake an accent, and that kills the vibe. There is no point in faking an accent, because if you are not a native speaker, chances are people will know that you're not a native speaker. There's no point in faking an accent. Just go with the flow. Try to speak correct English instead of trying to speak fancy English, if that makes sense. Get yourself familiar with the language. I mean, ask your friends, ask your family, whoever is around you, or people who are there to help you, to start speaking in the language that you're trying to practice. English in this case. And finally, do not underestimate the power of English subtitles when it comes to watching movies or dramas or TV shows or serials. Anything that you're watching on television, make sure you turn on the subtitles and read the subtitles along with you watching the movie show or whatever it is that you're watching. This is not only going to help you learn new words, but also makes you very familiar with the language. Again, if this video provided you any value, please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to leave the comments down below if there are any other suggestions that you would like to give me. Also, follow me on Instagram. My handle is mednerdygram, and DM me your questions over there, and I'll be more than happy to help. See you next time. Absolutely nobody cares about your accent.